And we are live. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the DeezQuibs podcast. I'm your host, Dino.
Again, you're not a host. Because
Okay.
the difference is with her podcast is she's an actual host because she's the only one that's always there. There's three of us that are always here.
Hey, like
So you can't be the host.
Hey, I'm the host with the
Hey, can you take
roast.
it's Halloween was 2 days ago. You need to take off that mask, you know? What the
It'll
It'll scare the people watching.
It's stuck. Wait, guys, we have a special guest today. Would someone like to introduce her?
Nose goes.
No.
Nah, dude, hey, dude, that's all you, Dino.
Wait, me?
Yeah, you didn't win nose goes.
Okay, get ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
fine. We have AJ. What? That's it. Yeah, I explained her. What?
Okay, I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mrs. AJ Payumo. AJ, how do you know
married.
us?
I'm not married, so I'm not a Mrs.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to be cordial. AJ, how the hell did you end up in here?
Well, I've known Dino since I was like 15. The first time I met him, Dino actually didn't like realize that I had met him because it was like kind of in passing. Like it was back at Olympian when I was still like a sophomore.
How the hell was I supposed to remember that?
Yeah, no. It was because
I
like
pass the class every day.
no, it was because like you were hanging out with Brooke. She's my god sister, and I was just hanging out with them, and Dino was like, it was at the beginning of their senior year when Dino was still planning on taking AP Gov, and so he was like, Brooke, what? Here's the AP Gov stuff. Like, what do we do? And like, he would just like walk by asking for like whatever it is for that class. And then I was like, "Ooh, Brooke, who's that guy?" And then she was like, "Relax, he's just a family friend." She's like, "Please, no, it's not him."
You already know I was that guy.
I don't know about that one, Chief. But anyways,
this is super opposite. Hey, at least I got the AP Gov. Y'all can't take that away from me.
you dropped that class.
Yeah.
Hey, because I took it away from me.
So yeah, that was like the first time that I met you that I can remember. But I think the first time that you met me was probably like that you can remember is probably like sometime at like a party at like Brooke's house.
Don't remember.
Well, damn.
I don't think I ever met you.
Then why am I here?
I think you just clicked the wrong Zoom link, honestly.
F. Okay. Well, the first time that I met Omar was at SDSU. It was because like I was hanging out with like Dino. I think it might have been like my first or second day of freshman year.
So we were juniors at the time.
Actually, no, it probably wasn't. But there was a time when like I would hang out with Dino because I didn't really have any friends at SDSU yet. Because most of my friends, like, they went off to, like, UC schools or they went, like, to private universities or out of state. And so, like, I was kind of the only one of my, like, general friend group that went to SDSU. So, like, because Gino was one of the only people that I knew, he kind of, like, I was like, okay, where are you at? Because, like, I don't know what I'm doing here, dog. So,
you know Louis?
Well,
Louis was there too.
I mean, like, generally between the three of you siblings, I generally only really talk to you more than Louis. Like, I'll talk to Louis, but it's just, like, he's more quiet.
Out of the siblings, I'm the only one who talks in general. I don't think the other two talk.
Low-key true. But Dino, I hung out with you, and then you took me to, like, the library, and I think
that's where it was at.
I think you took me to like either like a study room or something, and that's where I met Omar. And like Omar, you actually like have like very similar like hair to like what you did then, because I remember afterwards you like shaved your beard and stuff, but like you had like pretty long hair.
That's when you had the broccoli hair, bro.
Yeah, you had like pretty long hair, and I remember being like, who is this guy over here? Because like the rest of them I was like, okay, I can understand, because it was a bunch of Asians and like a bunch of like comp sci people, and then I was like, who is this man here in the corner, and he looks like he's ready to nap. But yeah, that was my first introduction to Omar, but he doesn't remember that either.
I don't remember that.
No,
And
he,
then-
well, Omar, he remembers the library days. That time we were always.
But
we
I don't
always
remember
hanging.
that.
Oh, that
day.
instant
Like,
meeting.
I just don't. Like for me,
And
like first
then-
time I met her was just in commuter lounge. That's the first.
That's
That's
probably
what I
like the first
remember.
time it was like, yeah, memorable or whatever. And then the first time that I met Ryan, I think was also like in SLL. Like it was like by the APSA office, and then
Yep.
they were
I
like,
remember that.
oh yeah, blah blah blah. You might get put into this line because it's where all of the goofy people go or whatever for like before mentor mentee. And then Joelle was like, oh blah blah blah. My twin is picking up, and then both you and Joelle like accidentally leaked that like Caroline was picking up. And you were like, oh yeah, she's like the only one that's like here who's a girl and in our fam that's picking up, and she's the only one that's like living in like North County, San Diego. And so when everybody was trolling me, I was like, I have a feeling this is like that girl Caroline, because I looked at the number and it said like 858, and it was like a
Oh, damn! She
it
knew.
said-
She knows her
it said
research.
858, and then it was also like it was like blue text bubble. So I was like, okay, so they're not using a fake app or whatever, right? And so she asked me, she was like, who do you think I am? And I was like, Caroline. And keep in mind, I had never like spoken to her by that point. Like I didn't even know, I just knew her name and that she was from like North County. And I was like, oh, okay, so this might be her, because this is the only one that I know of in APSA that's like, that fits the description. And then like, she was also in my fam at the time. So like before mentor mentee, like she was saying something in the thing, and you know how like everybody before you get revealed, everybody calls each other like mentor mentee. They're like, hi mentor, hi mentee.
Yeah.
I said that in the Galaxy fam chat, and then she like panicked, and she was like, oh shoot, she knows who I am. And then Joelle like texted her afterwards, because he was also in her fam. He was like, yo, Caroline, did you accidentally tell her that you were her mentor? And she was like, no, I swear to God, I've never even spoken to her like in person. She's never even seen me. And I was just like, it's the vibes, bro. And that was like sort of the same way that it happened with me and Zion. Like he could tell that I was me. And I was just like, dang, is it that obvious? But yeah, that was the first time that I met Ryan. It was like an APSA, like near the APSA office. And I just remember being like, dang, this guy, he's got like a big personality.
Wait, what? Hell no, I'm shy.
That's a fat lie, Chief.
At that time, AJ, did you know like me and Ryan like know each other, or did you not know like we were friends?
I like vaguely knew, because like I had already known about like DeezQuibs.
Of course.
Well, no, because y'all forget, like I've known Dino for a fat minute, so I had
Yeah,
already
that's
known
true.
that Dino had like a YouTube channel, and I was like, who are these people? And then I was like, there's this one guy, and I was like, oh, that's probably the guy that's like best friends with Dino that like I never see.
And she's like, I better not end up on their podcast.
And yet here I am today. But
Hey,
yeah.
congrats, you made it.
Yes.
Round of applause, guys. Round of applause.
Hey, I have one hand, so I can't really.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right, so I guess while continuing off your story, how is it like where you are in college now compared to when you were a freshman? Like, do you feel like you've really grown as a person, or do you feel like you're still the same person, or do you feel like you're not growing?
I think I definitely have grown as a person. When I look back on like who I was in high school, I was like, I don't know. Like for me, it was very difficult to differentiate myself from who I was in high school, because like again, like all of my friends went to different colleges, and I did have this sense of like, maybe I don't belong here, because like SDSU, like I've said this before, but like SDSU was not my first choice. My first choice was UCSD. But I didn't get accepted. And so like that was really it really like it was a blow to like my confidence and stuff. And so like it was really difficult, especially in the beginning, because there were a lot of people who like I would see them on campus and then they would be like, April? Is that maybe like April? What the heck? I thought you would have gone to like UCLA or Berkeley or something, just like based off of who I was in high school. And like that in and of itself was like already really difficult to struggle with, because I had like all of my friends are like they're like smart, intelligent, high achieving, very type A personalities. And
Can't relate shit.
and so like in high school I was very much like that too. Like I wanted to fit in with my friends, and I wanted to feel like I could do like that I was capable of the same things as them. But I also like, I don't know, in high school I just like didn't have the same passion as like I do now. Like my passion was like, honestly at the time my only passion was like QuizBowl. And that's what I put most of my time into. And so like I didn't care as much about like, let's say like I didn't care as much about like my grades necessarily. Like I got good grades, don't get me wrong. Like I wouldn't have made it here if I didn't get good grades, but definitely
Is it better
like
than 2.8?
yeah. Yeah.
Just
But
asking
like
for a friend.
definitely I think that I've grown since then, because now I care like way more about my studies. And I think it goes back to the fact that like political science, like my major, is something that I chose, and it's something that I actually enjoy and that I like. And so I feel like if I'm not doing my absolute very best at it, then I'm selling myself short. That's the kind of mentality that I have now. Like I really want to like, because I know that like this isn't the end point for me, like undergrad, like this isn't, SDSU's not all for me. Like I want to go to like law school and beyond, hopefully. But I think that like the person who I was back then was definitely somebody who like didn't have much confidence and was like felt very out of place. And then like luckily I found people, and like part of that is because of you, because you and Joelle were the ones that like told me like, oh, you should join APSA, this will be good for you. You'll find like people that you like here. And like I actually did. I ended up finding people that I liked. I really do enjoy like our little like ice tray, our little line. I think it's like so fun. Everybody in our line is like super goofy and chill, and like I can just generally like vibe with them. And if it wasn't for like y'all, I probably wouldn't have like half of the friends that I have right now. Kind of thing.
It's funny you say that, because you know who's the person who told me to join APSA? That man right there. That man named Ryan, the Best Buy sales associate.
He's the best guy for Best Buy. Come on.
Yes, sir.
He's gonna pitch us to buy or to get like Best Buy rewards cards today.
He's the only guy that he went from Boba promoted to customer, promoted to Best Buy. Like I've never seen a Boba to Best Buy like transition before. Like I think that's the first time. That's the first time in history. Like literally, no one on Earth has done that before. Like no one.
Unheard of. This he's got the talent, the range.
Chill.
Like when you read his job resume, you look at his history. He went from Boba to Best Buy. Like every CEO reading that is gonna be like, I don't see the correlation here, man.
hey, but correlation doesn't equal causation, bruv. AP stats.
Oh yeah, huh? I haven't stats. Oh yeah.
AJ, I want to go back to one thing that you said that I found interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying when you're quote unquote trying to fit in with your high school friends, like you felt like a lesser value just because they went to a UC school.
I think it was like partially because of how like the culture in the area that we like went to high school, because like Olympian's just like a very like, it's known for having like a lot of like South Bay in general. Like there's a lot of people who are just like very very smart, like successful, like there's all of my friends, like they all went on to like go to these like huge universities and stuff. And so like, and that like at Olympian, there's like a very big push to like go to a UC school, like a 4-year university. And like people always say this, but like you don't realize it until you're in college. Like they're always like, oh yeah, CSUs are just as good as UCs. Like 4-year universities, like the quality of education is like the same, right? If that were true, then how come UCs are so like notoriously difficult to get into, kind of thing?
I agree with that.
And so that's why people kind of like, at least in high school, there's like this sense of like looking down at UC, or I mean not looking down at UCs, looking down at CSUs, because like especially like SDSU, because like it, for at least for us, like it's like easier, quote unquote, to get into, because we don't have to because like the requirements, like because of Compact for Success, like it's not as strenuous, I guess, like in high school. Like people kind of take it as like an automatic acceptance kind of thing, and like to a certain extent it was, but like you just kind of it creates this like sense of like you don't value SDSU as like a 4-year as the way it should be, and so like yeah, I guess I felt like I wasn't as smart as my friends, even though like my friends would probably say like that's obviously not true. I thought that I wasn't as smart as them because I really measured my worth by like accomplishments. And so like the first year at SDSU, I was like, what am I going to do? Like I have to do something to prove to both myself and to like the people around me that like I'm not an idiot, because I thought that people were going to be like, oh yeah, like why did she end up at SDSU if like she was smart enough to get into a UC? Like how come she didn't get into a UC? Why was this like her only option?
Blame
and
it
like
on COVID.
well, I can't blame it on COVID because I applied for colleges pre-COVID. But yeah, like I think that it was just like really difficult for me to fit in with my friends, just because, well, I mean, like not difficult because they always accepted me for who I was as a person, and they were always like, AJ, you're smart. Like they'd be like, oh, you're very talented, like but I just felt like in comparison to them, like there was a lot of things that I was good at, but like for me it was like I had all of these subject areas, right? Like math, science, English, whatever, government history, right? And so like for me it was sort of like I was just like good at everything, but there wasn't something that was like I was great at it kind of deal.
Jack of all trades type deal.
I mean, like sort of, but like there were just certain things for me that like just came naturally. And then there were other things where I was just like, I wish I was good at this, but I would have to work a lot harder, and it just didn't seem like that interesting to me. And for my other friends, it was like the opposite, where like, I mean, like some of my friends, like they were like naturally good at certain things. They already knew what they liked. Like my friend James, he already knew that he was like in love with history, and that's what he wanted to do. And now he's in college studying history. Same thing with my friend Ocean. He was always good at like math and science, and now he's like an engineering major, and he's also like, well, actually he's also double majoring in physics too, and he goes to Berkeley. And I was like, yeah, my friends are amazing.
Wait, his name's Ocean, but he's not studying about the ocean?
Yeah.
Something doesn't add up here.
But he is like one of those people who like I like did look up to, and I still do look up to them. Like I look up to all my friends. But like he was one of those people who I was just like, dang, I wish I could be like that, where I was like, people just knew and they didn't ever like question like your intelligence or something. Because I feel like that's a big thing for me, at least like with my family too. Everybody's a professional in my family. And so like there was a lot of pressure that I put on myself to also be like that.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing though. Yeah.
Ooh. So on top of what you just said, as I was asking you to compare yourself to when you were a freshman, if you could give advice to your freshman self, what would it be? Now that you know like where you are today.
If I was gonna give myself advice as a freshman,
And I want some real advice. I want some brutal shit. Or if it was just nice advice, that's fine too.
I would say that for me, I would say like to stop comparing yourself to your friends, because like you're in like college is like that point where like, so like high school, okay, it's like one road, right? And then when you get to college, you and your friends all like split off into your little different branches. At that point, it's like you're taking your own path. You're doing what you specifically want for your own future. You shouldn't compare yourself to like your friends and stuff, because obviously their goals aren't going to be the same as yours. Like
Yeah,
most of my friends
different
want,
people.
yeah, most of my friends want to go into STEM, and so for me, I was like, oh, I have to do all of these things to compensate for that, which is like a very distorted mentality. And so I would tell myself to like stop looking at what everybody else is doing and focus on you and what's going to make you happy in the long run, and to also try and make more friends, or try like if I had known that like I would find these friends in apps that I did, I wish I would have joined sooner, because I was like, yo, my freshman year would have been so much more fun. I would have gained like way more like memorable college experiences.
You're saying the library wasn't memorable?
No,
The
I
library
mean,
was
like,
lit.
I love the library. Like, I'm gonna be real. I spent most of my time there, but the problem was that like freshman year, I spent most of my time in the library alone, kind of deal. Like whenever I had like a break, I would just like sit in the library by myself, and I would like watch shows or do homework. And I generally didn't hang out with like friends, because I didn't have friends that I could hang out with. And then like, I guess like second semester freshman year, I would hang out in SLL, and I would like see you around, and like whenever I saw you, I would hang out with you. But freshman year was definitely like, there was like a group that I would hang out with there too.
Mhm.
And they weren't like necessarily my friends.
Mhm.
I just sort of like hung out with them because like I knew some of them.
Mhm. The acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
But like it also just like wasn't very like, I didn't feel like I was like that I fit in, or that I was like in the right place kind of thing. But yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
would tell myself to
it
branch
makes
out.
me like so proud to see how you
Yeah.
went from that to where you are now. Now you're like,
Now you're a big
like
name now in apps,
yeah, the
dude.
complete opposite of that.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm a big name, but I am like very glad that I found this group of people, and that like I'm doing something that I like to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. I feel like you're always like that. Like in high school, you were in the academic team, so you're always part of like an organization. So I feel like you and APSA, it's like
What like that it makes
yeah, I
sense.
feel like yeah, you're always like part of an organization. So I'm not surprised like where you are now.
I guess like that was one of the problems going into it, is because like for so long in high school, I was just identified like, this is academically, like this is QuizBowl, here's AJ, and I was just like right there in the middle of it. And so like for the longest time, people always like assumed that because I was in academic league that I was like a genius. And so I guess like to a certain point that became like a big chunk of my identity. And so when I went off to college and I didn't have that, like I didn't have that like that marker, that distinction anymore. Like I wasn't part of a group and all my friends had gone. I was just like, who am I now? Like, what do I do afterwards? Because like SDSU didn't have a QuizBowl team either. So I was like, shoot, what am I going to do? Because like a lot of colleges do. But SDSU just doesn't have one. And so I was just like, I don't know, like, who I'm going to hang out with, what I'm going to do. And, like, yeah. But I guess, like, it does make sense to a certain extent that, like, you would think, like, oh, yeah, AJ and APSA, this, like, fits in very well. I think it's also generally just because, like, I'm sort of, like, I'm an extrovert, but, like, I'm an extrovert, but I also don't leave the house much. And so, like, the only times I really get, like, person-to-person contact and, like, communication is, like, when I'm at school. And so that's why, like, I've always been sort of like this, like, around, like, friends and, like, acquaintances and stuff. Like, I've always just been very willing to, like, talk to people just because, like, there's no other way for me to talk to people, so...
Like, so you make the most out of like every moment you get, basically. Ooh. Yeah, the high school distinction thing is very interesting because I know the story of there's this guy who was the cross country captain. He was a legend, and that guy turned out to be the Best Buy legend. Yeah, see, in the case of Ryan, I don't think his high school distinction left him. He's always a captain in every way.
No. Relax.
I mean, come on, Chief. You're like known. You're like the guy when it comes to like the cultural orgs. Like specifically Samahan and Apps. Everyone's always like Ryan.
Hell no.
Like, they're like, yo, that dude. He has 21 mentees. Let's go, 21 savages. And then you look at BBB, and then it's just like this like. Huge tree of people, and like we were saying the other day, we were like, what are the chances? Huge?
Yeah, I know Hugh Janus. Yeah.
Oh, he knows him. Sure, one of the new mentees.
You know Hugh. You know Hugh though, Dino?
No, I know Hugh.
You know Hugh Jass? No.
Oh, I think you should ask AJ that.
Okay.
Okay. We have, that's the last episode. For people who don't know the time, watch the last one. We went over this. I do not know what Benjamin is.
Oh, Wendy's. No. How about Candace? No. Not
even Candace. I'm an Arby's guy.
Do you know Bruce Willis?
I haven't heard this one. Who's that?
You know, like Bruce Willis dick fit in your ass?
There goes the sponsors again, Omar.
We never had any. It's okay. Keep going.
I'm dead.
But AJ, I got a question for you too. Do you think where you're at right now in APSA, do you see yourself becoming the president of APSA?
Ooh, foreshadowing.
Oh.
No, I thought Benjamin's running too.
Yeah, it's Benjamin running.
Oh yeah, never mind.
AJ, you know Benjamin's running.
What?
Just okay. That's for the like I said, it's for the last episode. We'll
oh God.
We'll save that for another time.
Okay, yeah, but honestly, I don't know. I feel like it's too soon to tell whether or not I would like run again at the end of this term. There's a couple things that like personal issues where I'm just like, I don't know if I would, or I don't know if I should. I mean, like, we'll have to see. I definitely think that like it's not out of the range of possibility. I like being political coordinator. I think it's fun. I like talking about it. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Anything's possible.
Yeah, so from your experience being like a high value board member, what advice would you give about like running an organization, such as like a big or
like anyone trying like thinking of running in the future too?
Yeah.
Board member.
Anyone thinking of running?
Or just general advice for like just being in an
how to run an
organization.
Yeah.
I would say make sure you know how to manage your time properly, because it does get very busy. Even online, there are like a lot of events that you still have to plan. Don't overload yourself with classes. make sure that you can only take on, like, again, like back to time management, like only take on what you know you can handle. So like if you took 16 units and like you were like, okay, this is like good, like I'm pushing it, but this is good. Maybe like if you're gonna go into an org, like maybe like cut down just a little bit so that you can have time, because it is like a job, to a certain extent. Like you have to work on certain things like every day, just because like to keep up with like the time and stuff. And then what else? I think like the biggest advice I could give is like talk to people in that org, talk to like the people that are in like the positions that you would like to see yourself in, because I honestly didn't know that I wanted to run for political coordinator until like, I think like the first person who mentioned it to me was Ryan, honestly, because I think there was just like one day we were talking about like, oh yeah, what would we like, we were talking about like E squared names, and we called ourselves Doogie Squared. And then we were like, oh yeah, what are possible board names for next year? And then everyone was like, who's gonna run for what? And Ryan was like, yo, AJ, you're fit for political. Come on, dog. What else are you gonna do? And I was just like, maybe, I guess. Who knows? But I didn't really like, you really have to talk to people in order to get like a sense of like what the job is, because yeah, I mean, you kind of just gotta like feel for it, I think.
Mm-hmm. So going off your advice about like time management, so as you mentioned, like your schedule gets really busy and you sometimes feel overworked. So for the days when you just feel like you're out of it, how do you like deal with it? Or do you have a way of dealing with it?
I would say when like, I mean, like obviously like I've had busy weeks, like, you know, everybody says that there's like a hell week, where you just have like a ton of like midterms or assignments that are just like packed, like one on top of the other. I'd say for that, like, at least for me, at the end of like a busy day, I like wind down by just like going on, like doing things that I like. So like I'll go on like YouTube or I'll, like scroll through TikTok and just like unwind. I'm also like learning Korean, so like I'll play with like Duolingo and like learn some stuff before bed. I feel like it also helps me like retain stuff. But yeah, just like make sure you like spend time on yourself, because your work is like a product of like, it's a product of like you know what I mean? Like it reflects on yourself. And so like obviously like, when you're overworked and stuff, you're not going to put out your best like effort for things. And so you really have to make sure that you're balancing your commitments with like your commitment to yourself.
Yeah. So basically you're saying you get out what you put in.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you just have to make sure that you like, you're only doing as much as you can handle, because if you push it too much, it might not come out the way that you want it to.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, so how about on the opposite end of the spectrum? How about the days when you just feel lazy AF?
I mean, sometimes.
And we talking about hella lazy, like you wake up and you're like, oh hell no, and you go back to sleep.
I mean,
that
like
type of lazy.
There's definitely days where like you're just like, man, I don't really want to get out of bed. But I guess like what I would say for those is just like, you have to remember that like the work that you do, it's not just for yourself, you know, like in the long run, it's for a greater cause. Like if it's for like my org, like people are counting on me, you know what I mean? So like I have to, no matter like if I'm tired, I still have to do it, because like I don't want to let people down. And then like if it's for school, even if I'm tired, I still have to do it. Like there's still that motivation of like, I I would really hate to do it right now, but I know that I have to, because if I don't, then I'm just like, I'm not doing myself any favors. Like, especially like with classes, like if you get lazy to study, you just have to realize like, okay, if I get lazy to study, how is this going to affect my grades in the long run? Like, what are the trade-offs kind of thing? And so you just have to be like, okay, if I don't study now, then I'm going to end up cramming later, and it's going to be really hard for me to absorb all this material before my midterm. So I might as well start now before I start stressing myself out.
That's what I do. I absorb everything like an hour before the midterm.
Oh, snap. You'd be photosynthesizing.
No, I absorb it, but then I release it right before the midterm starts.
Oh,
So relatable, dude. That's
So
so.
they come into the midterm empty.
Yeah, I hate that, dude. Like you take it, like you do all the studying, right? And you go to the exam and you fucking blank out. Like, oh, I hate that shit so much. It's like the worst thing ever, dude. And then like you get like a GG score too, dude. SMH.
Yeah, I learned in my psychology class. I heard cramming. The reason cramming is bad is because obviously, remember, you're like in the frenzy to try and learn as much as you can. So when the test starts, you're like so stressed out that your brain's releasing like cortisol or the chemical that there's just so much that you forget basically everything you were studying. You remember some things if you concentrate hard enough, but because it's timed and you're already stressed, it's just hard, man.
I took Psych 101, and so like I think I remember what you're talking about. But like part of the reason why cramming doesn't work is because like your brain works better when it's learning things in increments. Like
increments.
Like little bites of information at a time. If you just keep looping it, your brain is gonna end up retaining at least some of it somehow. And so like that's why people are always like, you should like time management techniques. They'll be like, use the Pomodoro method or whatever, like take like work for 25 minutes and then take a break for 5 and then work for another 25 minutes and then take another break. Because when you give yourselves those little like breaks, it sees it as like an incentive. But also like you're giving your brain like a chance to like rest and just like take in everything that you've just learned. And so that's why it's like easier. It's more digestible. And I think like to a certain extent that it, like I understand that. But I am like prone to procrastinating. Yeah, for me, like I don't.
Everyone though, to be honest.
I mean, like y'all know, like I'm sort of a night owl, and I can't study. Like I don't know why, but I can't study unless it's like I can't study properly unless it's like past midnight.
See, I'm the complete opposite of you. There's no way I can study past 8. Like that, like I just get so
Past
sleepy.
8? What are you? What the?
I always study as soon as I wake up. So from 5 to in the morning. I'm a morning guy. Like past 8 p.m. like my mind just wants to like just wind down. Unless I have I'm like stressed out. Then obviously I'm in the state to study. But most of the time I can't study during the day.
I used to be like that in high school where I would like, at least like senior year, I would sleep at like 10 p.m. and wake up at 4:30 in the morning. And so I would like study before I took the bus to school because like I'm a huge wuss, so I don't drive. So like I would study on the bus and then I would take the bus to school. I would take naps like before. And then like as like my days would be long because like my school days, like I would have practice like Monday to Friday. And so like I wouldn't get out of school until like 5 o'clock. And so like sometimes I wouldn't get home until like 6 because like I would still have to wait for somebody to pick me up. So like, yeah, I would just always end up like having these long days, but I mean, like I still procrastinate. I'm a huge procrastinator. Everybody, like I have a huge stationery addiction too. Like when it comes to like really cute pens and stickers and stuff, I go nuts for those things. And people always assume that like because I like do collect a lot of that stuff, they're always like, oh, you're probably one of those girls that has like the really pretty notes. And like I guess I guess you could say that, but like when
Is
it
it in
comes to like,
cursive?
no, it's not in cursive.
Is it in Times New Roman 12-point font?
No, it's not in Times. But people do say that like
Double
my handwriting
spaced?
does look like a. People do say that my handwriting does look sort of like a font because of the way that like I like format my like notes and stuff. Just because it's very. I would say that it's like very straight. Like you see like how like straight and like lined up everything is. Everyone's always like,
And
AJ,
for
your
the Spotify listeners, we're sorry.
Yeah, for the,
Yeah.
for the listeners, she has notes.
Yeah, she's showing us
Pretty
notes.
aligned.
It's in cursive. It's in Times
an
New Roman.
It's not
enchantment
in
table.
cursive.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
hieroglyphics.
cursive, but
It's all
everybody-
hieroglyphics. It's all, you know.
Everybody's always like, AJ, your notes are so clean and like legible and pretty and stuff. And they're like, you must put in so much time and effort for those. And like, so, like it's only if I have like the motivation to do that. Usually I don't. But when it comes to like studying for tests and stuff, my motto is if your notes or your study guide, if they don't look like they've been beat up and like put through the laundry machine or something, like if they don't look like absolutely terrible, like your handwriting is like in like corners and stuff, and like you've highlighted a bunch of stuff and like the pages are folded up, right? If it doesn't look like just absolute trash before your exam, then you didn't study hard enough.
Ooh, that's kind of embarrassing because my paper is always clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
we
what you said. I feel like when you put it in the laundry machine, you kind of lose the notes, right? It just gets all
Yeah,
smoothed
because
out.
like
I
it
feel like-
evaporates, like, all the ink
Yeah.
spots.
What happens if you put it in the dryer
Yeah.
first?
Yeah, how about you?
Will
Yeah.
it shrink?
it's hyperbole, Omar. But like, yeah, I mean, like for me, like I just like when I get into like study mode, I have to, and I like am cramming. I'm like, yo, I have to. This has to get into my brain somehow. And so like I'll just like take my notes with me all throughout the house and just like walk around and stuff. Because you also like retain stuff better when like you don't associate it with just like sitting in one spot. You have to
Oh,
like
shit.
learn things. You have to learn things in like different areas so that you can like consistently like retain stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I figured this out because like I'd watched a bunch of videos about like how to study like new languages and stuff, and they were like, don't just practice it at home because you want to practice it in other places too,
Yeah.
so that your brain gets ready for like using it in whatever situation. And so that's why I think sometimes like exam rooms and stuff can freak you out because the setting is so much different than like if
What
you're
you're
at
used
home
to.
or if you're in the library, because you're just like by yourself and like there aren't like a ton of people. Like you don't see a ton of people just like silent, all doing the same exact thing as you. So it kind of just feels weird.
Oh, let's see. And you taught me something interesting. And I'm a college senior. Why am I only learning this now?
I mean, that explains your 2 point whatever you have. I don't know.
Hey, that wasn't me. That's from asking for a friend.
No, yeah,
Asking
sure.
for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, ask for a friend.
I mean, I'm not gonna flex for my.
At least a 2.8 is better than a 1.9. No, that's for another friend.
Who has a 1.9?
Some dude who was on the baseball team. That's all the thing I'm gonna say.
What the?
Huh?
The coach said you can't. I don't want to name him just because it's
Just name
funny.
him, dude. What's
Y'all
gonna
might
happen?
know him. Y'all might know him.
Go ahead.
Okay, his name's Philip Devon. If y'all know him.
I don't know.
Well, he okay. I'm just explaining the story. So basically, the coach told him you need to get. He had like a I think exactly a 3.0, and the coach said like you're a smart kid. I want to see you do better, or else, like he'll give him more playing time. And then he ended up getting a 1.9. And the coach is like, "What the fuck? How did you do the opposite of what I asked?" And then ever since that team at the time, his nickname was 1.9. Like that's just what they.
Oh, that's a bad.
That's
so
so
bad.
sad.
Fuck,
It
dude.
was
Oh,
our
man.
sophomore year in high school.
Oh, that shit's...
That's a fat F.
Yeah, he had a 1.9, man. But hey, it's life. He
I'm
didn't
not
learn
gonna
it
flex.
because he only learned in one spot, like what you said.
Yeah, his notes weren't beat up and then the dryer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're actually no, they're iron too. They're iron.
Yeah.
He ironed the notes. Oh gosh. When you look at his notes, bro, those notes are clean. Damn.
They look kind of fresh.
It's like sparkly. He said that clean.
He put fabric softener on them too. He
Oh
said,
gosh.
smells laundry fresh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's crazy. All right, so AJ, is there anything you want to ask us, DeezQuibs people? We'll flip the tables this time. Or is there one you want to ask our Best Buy representative?
Yeah. Do you need any electronics or any coleslaw?
Coleslaw? No, I would ask my mentee that. I would be like, Zion, can I get a Cane's box with 5 tenders? Can I get 5 pieces of bird and some extra bread and a side of milk, please?
Yeah, I'm going to Raising Cane's after my work.
There goes the vegan sponsors.
Yeah, jeez, man, come on.
That's 3 sponsors this episode alone.
Chief, who in here is a vegan? I'm Filipino, dog. I can never go vegan.
But there are Filipino vegans. I have met them.
Yeah.
And
There
Omar,
are.
why are you
They're
sweating,
interesting.
Omar? When she said, "Who's vegan here?" How come you're sweating?
I'm so done with y'all.
I saw you eat meat.
What?
Never mind. I'm trying to push the narrative that you're a vegan, but the narrative pushed back.
But dude, vegan
Yeah.
food's expensive, though.
That's how
Holy
you do it.
hell,
You just
that
don't
shit's
respond to
actually
your
expensive.
dumbass whatever the fuck you're trying to fucking do.
Vegan food is expensive.
You're a vegan. Just say it.
That's the first thing. That's the first thing vegans tell you. Like, that's the first thing they tell you. Like, oh, like when you meet them, not even your name. They just tell you, "Oh, I'm vegan."
That's how you know that's their only personality, and that's why you know you gotta stop hanging out with them. That's the only thing they say.
Uh-huh.
Wait, like Dino, you're into fitness, like lifting and stuff,
Yes, sir. Pre-goal.
like fitness cock and
Damn, you got me. You're hella good. Man. I thought you were dead. I thought you're gonna transition to
Good setup, Omar. Good setup, dude.
shit.
I'm so done with
Oh
y'all.
man,
Not in front of AJ.
you're paranoid from the last.
I know, right?
Still paranoid.
I knew where it was going, Omar. I knew where it was going.
Yeah, I just had to wait out.
I'm not under level
time.
AJ. These guys
Yeah.
are they're finesse.
Yeah.
The finesse
think-
wording.
Okay. You asked me what I would ask y'all, right?
Yes. No fitness, please. Please don't.
Yeah, he's like, do you know
No,
Benjamin?
No, see, now I'm gonna
No,
don't think about what she's
not
saying.
fitness.
See, y'all did this. Y'all did this.
I don't know. I feel like okay, y'all have known me for a while. Do y'all think that I have changed since you first met me up until now?
I'll let these guys answer first. 'Cause for me, it's an obvious yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I'd say yeah. I'd
Yeah.
say yeah.
Like, yeah, like Ryan and Omar, y'all have known me for like a year now. Do you think that, like, I don't know, like Omar has probably like seen like the worst parts of it, because like I would text Omar when I was like real sad. Like, we have this thing about like me and like my Spotify and it being big sad girl hours 24/7.
It's always on replay.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck?
Always on replay, dog. If it's not big sad girl hours, what hours is it?
Happy hour.
Happy hour.
Yeah.
Side
Stop.
note,
There's no happy hour. There's no happy hour. The only happy hours that
I mean-
exist are at fast food places. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like y'all have seen me through like a lot of stuff, like just in the past year.
Yeah, that's crazy what can happen in 1 year too, though. It's amazing.
Do you think that I've changed for the better?
ask me again. I think so. Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Did y'all ever think that we were gonna be like friends like this?
Well, I'm being honest. What the fuck? Is there
That's funny
why are you bullying me? I'm right. What the? What?
Ryan's thinking real hard.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus. God damn. But do you know Benjamin?
I'm not even gonna ask.
He's not
I'm
asking
not
me.
even.
He ain't asking me. Please don't ask me.
I think you should ask Ryan that.
But like, dude, you know Charisma?
Oh yeah. Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
No, who's that?
Oh, like Charisma nuts? No.
Oh my god.
What?
Okay, to transition off of that. So my answer, AJ, is yeah. Like I said, I've been knowing you since what year was it? 1995. Damn, we go way back. That shit, fucking the 90s.
Yeah, before you or I were even born. Shoot.
But yeah, I guess just seeing you in high school, just seeing how you developed there, and then seeing how you're developing in college. It's just it's just crazy that I get to witness that.
I think it's funny.
It's just
because,
funny
like,
how you're Luigi's age. I'm closer to you than he is.
do you ever wait? I haven't watched the last couple episodes of the podcast, but like, have you ever spoken about Louis on here?
Guys, have I?
No. That's
No,
what I'm wondering.
I
why
I
you're
think
doing
I
that.
touched on my family members, but I don't think I've touched like Louis specifically.
Damn,
For people who don't know,
Louis
Luigi's
out
my
here.
little brother. Well,
Louis,
people know I have two brothers. I've mentioned it.
21
a lot.
episodes in and you barely mentioned it.
Louis-
Yeah. What the hell?
I don't
Louis
think
is
my
Dino's
brothers-
younger brother.
I don't
and
think my
he's
family
age.
even watches this. They know about it, but they don't watch podcasts in general. So it's harder to
Louis is
get
my
them
age,
to
but
listen.
like when you look at me and Louis, you would never think it. You would never think that me and Louis were like the same age. Like I don't know, like the way that Louis acts. Sometimes I'm like, dang, it's hard to believe that we're both like 30 years in college, Chief.
Y'all 20. This is your year. You guys turn 20, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be 21 in like actually literally 2 months. Because no, it's,
What's
right
the
now,
plan? What's the move? What's the move?
what's the move?
Try not to get COVID still? What the fuck you mean to move? What the
Exactly. Exactly, Chief. Mask up.
So the move is no move.
Yeah.
Move is to not move.
The move is to stay exactly where I am because I'm not trying to get sick. Yeah, I have this like curse of like getting sick every year on my birthday, or like yeah.
Oh, now you cursed us. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, now we gonna get sick.
Oh,
Dog,
I
you
get
should
holy
have
water
seen,
now.
you should have seen me
COVID.
last year after finals. I was like dead. I almost passed out on the hill that's like going towards like you know the really big hill that goes down towards like West Commons that everybody
Oh
really,
god, the skater
that all
hill?
the all the skaters like bomb and then they just like go face first, right? I almost passed out going back up that hill because I had like a really bad like your immune system kind of just like shuts down when you get super stressed out. And so like the week before finals, like because you know how like it usually like sometimes professors like split it up between like 2 weeks, right? The last like 2 weeks of the semester. So I had already taken like 2 finals the week prior, and then I had a paper that I had to do, and it was like 10 pages long, and I had to turn it in. And my professor was like, "Turn it into my office like during this time period during class hours." And so like I was still writing it. Like I was so sick that I slept on my couch in my loft for like 3 days because I was like, I cannot. I was like, if I sleep in my room, I'm gonna like get like disease all over my room, and then I'm gonna have to like clean. I was like, I have to clean everything, and then it'll be so difficult if I like have to move places, right? And like my body was just aching. I was like, I can't, like bones hurting, head pounding, and like I was crying in the shower. That's how bad it was when I was sick.
Are you sure that's a flu?
Yeah, what the?
Dog.
Sounds like
No.
God damn.
When you're like
What is that? What the
when I
fuck
get
is-
sick, it's so bad. And so last year I got like super sick after finals, and I'm like the day that I had my essay due, I was still like writing it and I was like typing, and I took like intermittent like naps for like 2 hours at a time, and then I would wake up and then I'd start writing for an hour. And because my parents like would drive me to school, I was still like typing in the car, like half conscious. And I was like, Mom, I still have to print this out and I'm dying. And my parents knew that I was like my parents knew that I was like not okay because
Yeah.
I had been sleeping on the couch for like a fat minute.
Uh-huh.
And so like my mom was like, okay, we're gonna sit in the parking lot by Starbucks, like the Starbucks that's like on base, because my dad like works on base. So like we would drop him off first. We sat in the parking lot where I finished my paper, and I was like, okay, Mom, I'm finally done. And I connected to the Wi-Fi, and then I sent it to my dad, and he printed it out in his office. And then like I was just like so dead that when I had to like turn it in, my mom just like parked at like Jack in the Box, and I had to walk all the way to to Storm Hall, and I had to go down the hill, and I was like I was about to pass out, and then like going back up, it's like even harder. And I was like,
it's when it gets steep.
I was like, Jesus, I'm going to like yank myself out of the moving car. And when I got back in the car, I was like, Mom, please, can we please just go home? And she was like, no, we have to wait until your dad's done with work. And so I just like plopped down in the car, put my seatbelt on, and then slept sideways the entire time because it's just so bad. And like that went on. I was sick for like 3 weeks. Like, you know how finals week? Finals
I don't
week
think
is
it's a flu age. That's
This last semester.
Did you have a flu shot?
It's a full-on disease, AJ.
It was fall 2019.
That was last year.
Literally like last year. And
Wait, so it was like during finals?
It was like the tail end of finals week. And then
It's the worst time to get it too. Holy shit.
And then yeah, it was like the tail end of finals week, and then like it spilled over, and I was still like recovering from it during my birthday. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because like literally, I don't know why, but every year I always get sick on my birthday, either because somebody gets me sick or because like it's just like after like school, like, or like the weather or something. It's like just like the weather change, like it's too cold. And then I'm just like, my body is just like, I can't handle this. But yeah, like I always get sick on my birthday. So I'm very much hoping that I don't get sick this year. Especially because like I'm not trying to get COVID, dog. If COVID touches me, I'm dying. Period. Y'all ain't gonna see me ever again.
Too.
Yeah, I have the same issue. I don't get sick like you. Like your situation's like crazy. But for me, every time like beginning winter, like before Christmas, I always get like a flu, but it only lasts like 2 days. What I noticed, like it always happens every year when winter starts.
Bro, I'm the type that like, even if I do get sick, like, or like in high school, even if I was like feeling like not great, I would just take like cold medicine and then go to school because I'd be like, I don't want to miss school. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, then again, like it was because like that was the only time I got to see my friends. So I was also like, no, I can't miss school. Like, I can't. Like, I couldn't handle it. And so like I would just like I would just always have like cold medicine in my medicine cabinet, and then I would just like take it with me to school and I'd be like, okay, 4 hours. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, and it went on like that. Like even in college, like I still like I don't enjoy missing school. I don't know why. I always feel like it's like FOMO, but like worse because it's also like with classes, I'm just like, if I miss class, I'm going to get like 10 lessons behind and I'm going to feel super dumb. I was like, please, I don't want to be the one. I don't want to be the one dummy that's still asking questions that like they covered like 3 weeks ago. I don't want to be that person.
Oh, it's interesting you say that because I feel like for college, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I'm pretty sure everyone can relate with this. I feel like no matter what you do, like there's nothing you can ever do and you will always be behind in your class, especially in college. Do you guys feel that?
Yeah, that's like part of like the procrastination.
Really? You're always on top of everything?
Say it again, yes.
Ryan?
Like, no matter what you do, you always feel like you're behind in your class.
Oh, definitely. Fuck yeah.
There's nothing you can even study ahead of time and you still feel behind. That's just from my experience that I've done so far.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. I always be catching up on things.
Really? There's never been a time where like, oh, I'm in track of my class. It's always I'm playing the catch
Bro,
up
the
game.
way that these lectures, like most of them are recorded now. I be playing them on double speed.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
you know, I didn't do that till recently. I feel stupid.
Oh yeah, trust me, you always feel that way. What the fuck? God damn.
Oh
No,
my
because
God.
one times one speed is already good enough. Times two speed is just if I want it faster.
Dog, that's why I love
Fucking
like
idiot.
I like to say that like high school conditioned me to be built different or something because like with QuizBowl, like the people that are reading, they read questions very fast and you just have to like be very attentive with listening, right? So like for me, it was like two times speed was like normal speed. And so even when I watch crash course videos, like y'all already know that like John Green and his brother, like they talk super fast. And you can tell that I also talk super fast. So when I play, I watch crash course videos on double speed and like it just sounds like nuts to other people, but I'm just like, yeah, that's normal. It's normal. And I do the same thing with all of my lectures and they're like, girl, why do you do that? I used to do that with like movies too. Like if you have to watch a movie for class.
You watched
What
two
the
times?
fuck?
Yeah, that's
Hold
first
on.
time.
Yeah.
No.
What
I had a class. I had a class over the summer. It was like health communication, and we had to watch like one new movie every week for 6 weeks, right? And like the movies were like uploaded to they were uploaded to like Blackboard, right? But there's like a Blackboard setting where you can like make it double speed. And so when I realized that like I could play those movies on double speed, I was like, hell yes. I was like, I am not about to like watch this thing like singularly, and it like sounded completely normal to me. I don't know. And
Really,
everybody
you
else
can
was,
still
like,
tell like what's going on like properly.
Do you have any subtitles or closed captioning at all?
I do put on subtitles, but like I just like watch subtitles, like I have them on anyways because I don't know. My dad also like is like sort of hard of hearing. So like we always have to have subtitles on just in case. But I don't know. I just feel like it's like more convenient for me. I like my friends will be like, "Oh yeah, I'm speed running my assignments right now." I'll be like, "That word, speed running? Oh god, now I can't stop using it because I always like tell my friends, I'm like, dog, I'm speed running all these lectures tonight, the whole module. Let's go, baby!" And then they're like, "Girl, how many shots of espresso are you in right now?" And I'm like, I may or may not have already had 3 double shots today.
Damn, that's not healthy at all.
That's why y'all nocturnal.
I don't think that's healthy.
Honestly, like I could take a
You
nap.
speed running your health. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, you gonna speed run your life. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Dog, anybody that knows me knows that I'm like immune to caffeine at this point. Like I used
That's
to
not good. That's not a good sign.
Omar, I told you, like I was the one that told you to like try Bang. Oh my god. In high school, I used to get like the giant bottles of Monster that like with the screw cap and stuff.
Oh my god, that's fucking
And I was like, oh my god,
I
you have
used to
diabetes.
I used to like crack those open. I used to crack those open like 7:30 in the morning and be like, "What's up, APL?" Like she was like my art history teacher, and like fourth period block days, it's like 2 hours at like 7 in the morning, and that was like my hardest class sophomore year of high school. And I'd be like, "What's up, APL? I got this." I'd be like, "Cheers, cheers," and then she'd be like, "Girl, are you okay?" Everybody but then like sophomore year of high school was like really bad for me, so I used to sleep through every single class except for like the ones that I liked. I don't know, this is like my problem. Like I would always like sleep in class if it was like a class I didn't really care about, and like teachers would, I didn't know this, but teachers like talk about you. Like they in high school they would be like apparently like Mr. Chico was like, "Yo," like somebody asked him and they were like, "Yo, y'all know April, right? Y'all know April, right? The one that's in like academically." They're like, yeah, she's in my class. They'd be like, "Does she sleep in your class too?" And then Miss Pence Lopez was like, "No, she's never asleep in my class." And I was just like, oh shoot, they know they don't care about their classes. And I would just be like, it got to such a point where one teacher asked me, he was like, "April, are you sure that you don't have narcolepsy?" And I was like, "I'm so sorry, sir. Like, no matter how much I tried, I would always just like nap. I could drink half a bottle of Monster and then knock out right in front of him."
Oh, the crash part.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even. Dog, it
That's
wasn't
not-
even the crash.
Yeah, that's not a crash is when it happens later. This is just
No, it wasn't even. It was like immediately after. Like I could be drinking a Monster. I could have had 6 hours of sleep, and just like gotten to school and be like, I'm too tired for this. No pre-calculus for me today, sir.
Wait. Why
I don't know,
drink
calculus
Monster
last year.
Energy when you can drink 5-hour energy?
Ooh.
Because I just liked that Monster was like it had that fizziness, and also because I could like close the bottle and then like drink it over a longer period of time. Kind of
Why
thing.
not both?
Why not both?
no.
That's a monster 5 hours.
Oh God,
It's
y'all
like it's
are
all
trying to
fun
kill
and
me.
games till the 6th hour comes in.
See, Omar out here being smart, and he's like, I do not condone this excessive use of caffeine. That's gonna kill you. I mean, to each his own.
Wait, so do you ingest caffeine like every day? Like you're always on those monster drinks, or is it just whenever you're studying? Like, do you ever drink it like for fun, like on the weekends? Like, I'll just have a monster.
Yeah.
Oh,
If I can get my hands on one.
Uh-huh.
okay, you sound like an
Yeah.
addict, honestly. You sound like a heroin addict. Like, if I can get my hand and like I just inject it into my veins.
Y'all got any more of those monsters?
Yeah.
Bro, I miss Yerb so much. Like
Yeah.
I
Okay,
miss
that's a
being-
problem. Yeah, that's
I
a
miss
problem.
being able.
That's another.
What
Come
do
on
you
now.
mean? I miss being able to.
I remember you be like, I
buy
drank
Yerb.
2 today. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you have another one in your hand? And then
Oh my God, I like drank like 3 herbs like in a span of like 6 hours. That one time like I had like a midterm, and like, bro, I ended up getting a 90 on it, so it was fine. Like, shoot, the yerb like it wasn't hitting. I still like fell asleep, but I was just like, yeah, I'm just doing this to keep myself awake. I like this fruity flavor.
I think the issue I have is that you're so dependent on it.
I'm not dependent on it.
You said if I get my hands on it.
No, I like to drink it if I can get my hands on it, but like I can be perfectly fine without it. Like I can go long periods of time just drinking water, and I'm fine.
Well, I'm addicted to water. I need water.
You should be. That's very good, Dino.
But I only drink the monster flavored water. So it tastes like Monster, but it's not Monster. Sorry.
Hey,
okay,
you know
sorry.
Benjamin Dino?
Yes, I know Benjamin.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Wait, so you said QuizBowl. So
Mhm.
like, can you like quiz like do like a QuizBowl like now? Like, how would they ask the question? Like, and we'll answer.
Is that like,
Like, see if we're academic ready. You know,
Oh shit! Why are you putting us on the spot like that, Omar?
because it's gonna be funny and
This is a
interesting.
test. You know, this is a test we are not ready to take.
Yeah.
AJ, give us your some of the best questions from your prime.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
academic
Let me
league.
just...
Oh, I didn't mean questions from. I meant like a general question. Okay, never mind.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
you can
that's
still
what you
ask
asked.
questions. No, I'm
Or
looking-
just ask us something that you think we can answer.
They would ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I have to ask pop culture.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. We probably we gonna get the other ones.
For the audio
That's
listener,
so
she was like, I
hard.
don't know what she's doing. She's looking for her questions.
I'm looking for okay. A recurring course in this video game series, Baby Park, requires players to complete 7 laps instead of 3. An item in this series uses an inverted question mark to indicate it is a bomb, not a real item box. In a game in this series, the special cup usually ends with the brightly colored course Rainbow Road. Explosive blue shells target players in first place in for 10 points. What Nintendo racing series?
Oh,
Mario Kart.
Blue shells.
Yeah.
With the first,
No,
the first couple
Rainbow Road
sentences.
got me. I knew Rainbow Road.
No, the first couple sentences were like, what the?
Yeah, everybody knows
the
Rainbow
questions
Road.
are that long?
The questions are that long. So like the way that QuizBowl works is that it's a funnel style. It's because Dino never came to one of my games. Okay?
Because I was banned from freshman year.
but- You were not banned, okay? So like it works like
Performance
funnel
enhancing.
type.
Reason
works like-
synonyms.
It works like a it
They're
works
like,
like
there he is, get him out of here.
It's sort of like an inverted pyramid where like the questions like they start off very broad and vague, and it like the answer could be anything, and the longer it goes, the easier the clues get. And so like at the very end, there's like one clue where it's like, well, anybody could get it, and at that point, it's a race to see who can get there first.
Go ahead. Let's proceed. Go ask.
What, you want another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. It's so hard to find ones that I think y'all could answer.
Or you can make it up.
The Mario Kart one was a good one. The Mario Kart
No,
one.
I can't make up one because like.
Well, drink a Monster and make one up, right?
She's like the ingestible energizer drink that.
Ooh, okay.
That I used
okay,
to drink during high school.
Okay, I got this. In William Faulkner's As I Lay Dying, Vardaman is encouraged to eat this fruit instead of pondering his mother's death. It is the less starchy of two similar fruits one can fry to make the Asian snack pisang goreng. Jacobo Arbenz Guzman was overthrown at the urging of a company that mainly grew this fruit in Guatemala, along with the Honduras of this type of republic for 10 points, named this fruit sold by Chiquita.
Bananas?
Yeah.
Chiquita. Yeah. Hey, y'all fucking slow. I knew it. Put me in coach.
Yeah, I think the beginning it's like you know how it has like it branches to something.
No, it's going to throw you off.
No,
yeah,
I heard Chiquita.
You gotta keep.
You gotta know. You gotta hear like the.
It's
key
really
word.
like
it's the key
they're
words,
like formatted that way. Honestly, like, did you know that Zion also did like academic league in high school?
Oh,
No.
that explains why he.
That explains why he's my mentee.
He talks very intelligently.
Yeah, he's very smart.
That explains why he's my mentee. Me and him, same wavelength, we're the same vibe. Me and him, goons.
But do you drink the same Monster flavor? Oh.
I don't even think Zion drinks that. Zion be like, "Can I have some Cane's milk?"
Yeah, that's exactly what he would say.
Yeah.
Be like, "Give me a Cane's milk and a little bit of bird."
So my next question to you is: during the academic games, have you ever witnessed like a fight or a brawl?
Yeah.
Like some guys say, "Hey, that's my question," and the other team gets up. Blowing the whistle.
There's like benches clear.
Clear out.
Oh shit! Get the
Remember they have the buzzer.
Fighting.
Some guy jumps on the buzzer.
There's no fighting, but like, there are moments where like they'll dispute an answer, like because there's also like certain times where like the answers aren't like super clear, like the answer could be this or like an alternative name for it is like this, right? So sometimes people will buzz in and then they'll give the alternative name, but it's not listed. Or like sometimes at different points in the question there could be like multiple answers.
Mm-hmm.
No, like it's not like technically wrong, but like it's a question of whether or not it's technically right, kind of thing.
Oh.
And so there are like moments where like you'll have players or coaches and they'll be like, "That answer is wrong. You shouldn't take it," or blah blah blah. They'll be like, "No," or they'll be like, "Oh no, two people talked at the same time even though they weren't recognized." Yeah. And so like in those moments it would get like very tense and like it's like buttholes clenched. Like you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna poo myself," because of how like
what?
You see, we're talking about bananas, right? The answer is still bananas.
Yeah. What are you talking about clenching? What are you talking about?
No,
bananas?
like you know how like you know that feeling when like you just get very scared and then everyone's like, "Oh God, I'm gonna poo myself," like you know, like that kind of deal where like everybody's just like tense and you can just feel it in the air. That would happen all the time because like nerds, they get very particular and like they get like they want to fight over these toss-ups, and I'm just like.
So it's like you guys know like the shot heard around the world, and then everybody started. It's the pencil thrown around the table. That's when they start fighting on the nerves.
It's in slow motion.
Yeah, the pencil falls. Oh shit!
Yeah, do you guys in the games do you get a chance to like talk to the other team like?
Yeah.
Before
or just throw up gang signs and be like, "Fuck y'all."
Yeah, basically, is there a part where you can talk shit?
I mean, like generally you don't want to do that because like there's a lot of like shit talk. Like behind
Yeah.
the scenes, like everybody like is like, oh, I hate this team, I hate this school, blah blah blah. There are rivals, right? There's a lot of that behind the scenes, and like you'll hear about it, like it gets to you, and so you'll be like, oh, I heard that like blah 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 high school like doesn't like us or whatever, and like I mean I'm guilty of it too, but I was just like, it's just like, dang, you don't like nobody thinks that like these nerds.
Yeah, like there's tension. Yeah.
Yeah.
Omar, if I was on the team, you know what I do?
What?
Yeah. You guys know how in basketball, like they'll talk shit about like you can't shoot.
Yeah.
Right. You know, academics all in the brain. I'll be like, you better watch that brain of yours, and I'll poke him in the head like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Or you'd be like, when there's like they started the answer, you'd be like, oh what, and then you interrupt them. Oh.
He said, why he stuttered? Hey, he's stuttering.
Hey, he started going, get him, get his ass.
And they throw the pencil. It's all fun and games. The pencil gets thrown.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, let me poke his third eye, see what happens.
Are there any like penalties, like in the hockey? Like if you fight in
flagrant
hockey,
Oh,
you sent like timeout.
Flagrant
I mean,
2
like-
academic.
Yeah.
If you
Ejected.
the only penalty is like if you buzz in early and the answer's wrong, you get a -5 or like -10.
Oh,
That's
that's
point system.
bad.
So then they
You
take off points from your overall total.
Have you had that happen to you?
Everybody's had that happen to them. Like it's normal. Like it's normal to like neg a couple times, like in a game or whatever. Like people will be like, "Oh, I thought it was this answer," or like you buzz in and then like you lose your train of thought, and then like you just like kind of like you don't answer within the time limit, because like once you buzz in, they only give you like 3 seconds to answer, or like to at least start your answer. And so like if you don't start it within that time, they're like -5, and then like they keep going on with the question. And so like, yeah, it's a whole thing.
That's like embarrassing. Imagine.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah, what you're
so
saying,
when you
like,
get good at it, do you move on to? Yeah.
it gets very like embarrassing.
So after that, do you move on to like Jeopardy or what like if you get really good at it, do you just go on to show
A
Jeopardy?
lot of people do. A lot of people do.
I would suspect that because it's like
a
you
lot
have
of people
to be.
in the QuizBowl community, like after college, they'll be like, or like if they get to college, like if they still play QuizBowl in college, they'll be like, "Yo, I'm in like the college Jeopardy edition," or blah blah blah. Like the guy Ken Jennings, who he's like kind of like Twitter. He's like low-key Twitter.
It sounded
famous.
like something.
Yeah, it sounded like
I'm paranoid. I'm
somebody
paranoid.
Yeah.
No. There's this guy. There's this guy Ken Jennings. And I hate y'all.
I got him
No.
paranoid. I got him.
No. But
It
he,
sounded like something. I could transition to something.
No. He like was like
Who
one of those.
cheese is something? Jennings is something, bro.
He was one of the long-time like running champions of Jeopardy. Like he won for like a couple weeks, and so like with the way it works with Jeopardy is like those streaks, like they matter a lot because you have to beat like multiple people consecutively in order for you to keep going, and then your prize money just increases, right? He had like one of the longest streaks in Jeopardy history, and he's like also very involved with like the QuizBowl community. And so he was just like, every year he'll like talk about like NEQT, and he'll be like, "Hey y'all," like, or he'll be like playing like on Proto Bowl, like, which is like the website where like people in QuizBowl like they go to practice and stuff. And then like he'll play on there sometimes, and people will be like, "Yo, I'm playing with Ken Jennings. This is legendary." And he's just like insanely good, insanely smart, and then everyone's just like, I respect the hell out of that guy.
So do you talk shit like, "I can answer that question quicker than you, bitch," and then you'll be like, "Beep," and then you say your answer? Or how do you talk?
Do you give technical
that
fouls
is-
for that?
Yeah.
Low-key, that is like how people like talk smack like within their team.
That was
What
joking.
the hell? That's
Yeah,
funny.
they buzz at this, but you're 1 second late. He's like, "Fuck."
One of my friends in high school, this was like before I even got good. Like, again, like it goes back to like, I didn't feel smart around my friends because I had a bunch of friends who were like, "Oh yeah, I thought you were dumb. I'm gonna be real."
Damn, straight up.
Yeah, he was my
Dude,
teammate.
damn.
Yeah, I say the same
I
thing
mean-
to Dino, and he still doesn't prove me the other way.
I'm
I mean, like
damn, straight
that
up.
friend has grown a lot since then. But freshman year, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna call you." It was such a stupid nickname too. He was like, I'm gonna call you Cherry Joy because all you can do is cherry pick the like leftover toss-ups. And so like cherry picking is like if somebody negs, right, and then they keep going to the end of the question, and you get the question by the end of it when like anybody could get it. Because like the way it works is like if somebody on one team negs, the other team gets like a free pass, like they can go to the end of the question and answer it and there'll still be no penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, April can only get the stuff that that somebody messed up on because there's no penalty. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, AJ, if I was in your situation, your friend's like, Dino, I thought you were dumb straight up. You know, I would have said. I'm
like, you're right.
No, I'm like, is the answer still bananas?
Are we still Chiquita bananas?
He's like,
Chiquita banana?
Are they going to ask the Mario Kart question again?
Wait, I have a question. Why'd you pick poli-sci?
Why'd I pick poli-sci?
Yeah.
I picked it because, well, I mean, like I went through a couple phases. When I was like 8, or like when I was in elementary school, I really wanted to be a doctor. Like when I was like 5.
School?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In elementary school, I just wanted to climb the green slide.
Therein lies the difference between you and me, Dino.
Is the answer still bananas?
But yeah, like in elementary school, when I was like 5, between like ages like 5 and 9, or no, I'll say between like ages like 5 and maybe like 12, I wanted to be a doctor.
You want to be a doctor at 5?
Yeah, I was like,
at 5, I was trying to figure out what's hoochies.
I was like, I want to be a pediatrician. I was like, I want to be like the doctor that takes
impressive.
care of kids. And then when I was 8, I was like, yo, I want to be an OBGYN because I want to deliver babies. I was like 8.
Hell?
And then
Ryan, when we were 8, we were fighting for the gold rush. Remember in 4th grade?
Oh
And
yeah.
then-
I remember we were 8. It was 4th grade. We were still in the gold rush.
at 12, I was like, I want to be a biomedical engineer because I took this thing called Gateway to Technology, and they were like, oh yeah, it's for like all the kids who like building things and like engineering, but don't know, like they need places to start. And I thought, like, for a little while I was like, oh, maybe I'll go into engineering, because I was also like on the robotics team in middle school. Yeah, so I did that. And then like 6th through 8th grade, I was also in drama club, and I always got like lead parts in like our little plays or musicals. So then I was like, oh, maybe I'll do like TV and film production. So then I thought about that for a while.
Damn.
But I also like ran a bunch of fan accounts when I was like 14. So then I was like,
oh, you gotta explain that.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, you ain't gonna let that slide.
I ran some fan accounts when I was like 14. And then I was looking at like the people who run like PR for I ran a Jimmy Fallon fan account.
Oh my god.
Out of all people, we picked Jimmy Fallon.
Of all people,
I really love Jimmy Fallon because I was a huge comedy nerd in middle school.
Oh, if you're you know comedy, that ain't Jimmy Fallon.
I know. I agree.
No, I like y'all are one to talk, but like it was like I liked like stand-up comedy and I liked improv, and so I was looking into like who ran PR and like marketing for the Tonight Show. And so like I ended up asking one of the people, and I was like, what did you like study in college? And one of the girls was like, oh, I studied communications. And so like when I was like 14, I was like, communication or TV and film production sounds like a good degree. And then when I was 15, I went into high school and I did academic league, and the subject areas that were like my specialty, it was like geography, art, current events, and pop culture, because everybody was like, AJ's the pop culture queen, like she watches way too much TV and is on the internet way too much to like not answer these questions. So like because of geography and current events, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool, because you like with the current events thing, you have to keep up with politics. And also like my coach at the time, like he was also a political science major when he was in college. So I was like, oh, I like this vibe. And so then like what ended up happening was, I realized that like poli-sci is also a good jumping off point, like if you want to become a lawyer. And people were always just like, AJ, you really love to argue and you're very outspoken. So maybe that'd be good for you. So then I picked poli-sci, and I think it's pretty good. It turned out well so far. And then last year I added comm as a second major. So it worked out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't your parents want you to be a nurse or
No.
a nurse?
But
Never?
actually, no, my
Never
mom,
forced-
my
forced that upon you?
my parents never pushed it upon me. Mainly because like my mom knew that like if I wasn't happy with what I was doing, if it wasn't something that I actually wanted, I wouldn't like it wouldn't be good for me. Like it wouldn't be a good fit. At the end of the day, it's like that's what my job is. That's what I have to live with every day. And if you don't like what you're doing, what's the point? Kind of thing. Like it's only worthwhile if like your work doesn't feel like work because you enjoy it. That makes sense.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
So if you given the choice, would you work at Best Buy with Ryan? And
No.
Ryan's the CEO. He is the
Straight up said
head
no.
boss.
You already said no.
No.
No?
Sorry, Chief.
You don't trust working under Ryan's like his department? Under his
Nah.
supervision? No.
Nah, it's Chief. I feel like I would just get flamed.
Ryan, your response,
I mean,
Mr. CEO of AJ's department.
I'll admit I've had my share of getting flamed by customers already. That I will say.
Yeah, see, I have no patience, so that would not work for me either. I would be wanting to brawl with customers. I would be like, who are you? Who are you to ask me about this, ma'am? And then I would just
So
be
I
like,
was just
nah.
asking what this TV was like.
I don't know, Chief. You figure it out.
Ryan,
You
if you
answer
were if you had to assign AJ to work at a department, which one would it be?
For her, I
Yeah,
would
you had the
probably
choice.
say she'd fit in well with customer service, or I want to say our the mobile or camera department as well.
Oh, okay. Ooh, cameras.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
you do good in customer service, AJ, because you have a good way with words. You probably have a way of convincing me.
Plus, like going with like poli-sci too. It's like you're also like expected to know about like policies too about like certain things, right? Yep, there you go.
Yeah, see, that plays to your strength.
Omar's so confused.
Omar, what department do you think AJ should go in? If there's a department, there's none, then there's none.
Well, I don't think she would be working at Best Buy for first.
Omar, he's on my side.
Okay. Okay, how about now you're forced to put her in Best Buy?
Why would I force somebody to work it if they don't want to work it? They don't work it.
Nah, they forcing you.
No.
That's it. You're working at Target.
Oh,
Seriously.
what's wrong with
So
that?
you'd be working with Darius. There you go.
Yeah, what's wrong? Wait, what's wrong with
Oh
Target?
no, just.
Oh.
Darius is the
There's just no
homie.
department in Best Buy, so
Nah, let
Target's
me
the
work
next
it.
choice.
Let me work at Cane's with my mentee.
Oh, would you want to be a cashier or you want to be like the cook? In
Dog,
charge
I
of
would be a
getting all the chicken
cashier.
prepared.
I would be a cashier. I can't. No. I would not be able to handle cooking. I feel like I would accidentally. I'm like sort of clumsy sometimes. Like, I don't know. I can handle money, but like hot oil and me, probably not a great mix.
So you're saying you're water. It's water and oil in a mix.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
Oh, I see. All right, AJ, I'm hitting the timer that we had hit the 1 hour and 30-minute mark. Do you have any final last messages to our viewers? Before you even give your message, first, where can they find you?
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at a.payumo, or I'm also an APSA board member. So if you want to come hear about like political things, you can go and watch my AP squares during GBMs. They're on Tuesdays from 5 to 6. We always have the link in our bio for apps at SDSU. And then like, yeah, I also have a podcast, Act Up. So if you look at like APSA Podcasts YouTube channel, you'll find me there. Yeah.
Ooh. Links not in the description. All right.
They
Now,
never
with that
are.
said, yeah, do you have a final message that you want to give to the people and us as well, to the DeezQuibs family?
Final
Or
message.
if you don't have a message, I see how it is. Then you don't have to have a message.
My final message is thank you very much for having me on this podcast. I very much enjoyed it, and I do miss hanging out with y'all. Very much.
Yes.
Yeah, we miss you too. Yeah, we're glad to have you back. Another episode. Ryan and Omar, do you guys have any last messages?
Wash your hands and wash your hands and get flu shots.
All right.
Well, I don't. When's this coming out?
That's to be decided.
Well, I can't say vote since this is coming out late, so I don't have anything.
Okay, that's final message. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
I ain't been up on the block in a minute. I've been missing out the walk with the minute. I've been building up the blocks like a minute. Elliot got water dripping out the city. Oh my god, boy, he got a Glock. Oh my god, boy, that boy on top.